to thump me on the ground. And I remember being picked up and slammed and picked up and slammed.
It took us up over the power lines. We went that high, and then it threw us.
And when I went around to the front of the school, it was gone. The whole front of the school was gone.
We just stayed covered up in the hallway and listened to all the glass bust out of our windows.
It hurt so bad that I just said, Lord, if it be your will, could you just take me home?
There were a couple of times I just felt like sitting down somewhere and just giving up. And when Darren and Jessica came from March to Recovery, I got a whole new feeling because they explained to me that something really was going to get done. And I had no economic means to do any of it. And they were so understanding. And the day that March to Recovery approached me to see if they could help was the turning point in the rest of my life. They just made such a difference. I just feel good about it. You don't think about all these things until you don't have them. And you feel despair, you feel like there's no hope. But over the past year and a half, they gave me hope. And it made all the difference in the world.
I started feeling bad towards the end of March. They seemed to think that it could have been possible some type of bacteria that was picked up because this tornado was so large and came so far and picked up so much stuff. But there was really no way to tell. And, you know, they did come in and amputate my legs and my arms. I learned to walk using a walker, and the walking didn't seem to be a big problem to me. The hands are a little difficult. I have to admit I'm not very good at those right now. I was determined. I wanted to be back on my own, and I wanted a house of my own. You know, New Hope and March to Recovery decided to partner, and they started looking around at maybe buying a house and having it redone to ADA requirements, and you know, look at the things that I might need and how they could be built in and make it easier for me to live and be able to live on my own. And it was just amazing. I didn't know that there were that many people that could care so much for people they didn't even know. And, you know, it would make you at times just sit and cry for the beauty of it.
It took us a while to pull together all of the ways we were going to operate, the ways we were going to do things. But once that got settled, and we were criticized, I think, at the beginning, because we weren't doing a lot of things that were visible. We were doing a lot of things behind the scenes, trying to get organized and do it the right way. And I think being here over a year and a half later, I think we did it the right way.
Honestly, I would say what has touched me the most are the volunteers that have stayed involved through March to Recovery. Seeing people work so hard and not give up for people we'll never meet.
It was the first time that many of these agencies had ever tried to work together. And, you know, when you've got the Red Cross and the YMCA and the community foundations and the United Way and lots of smaller organizations, local churches, Catholic charities, all sitting around the same table, and we didn't know each other. And we didn't know the capacity of the various groups or their abilities, and everybody had competing interests. But very, very quickly, those various groups realized that our priority was serving the needs of the people who had been affected by this storm. And all these agencies have now learned to collaborate in new ways. And the relationships that have been formed through March to Recovery will continue to prosper this community for years to come.
I'm proudest of the fact we've gotten as much done as we have in 18 months, 19 months.
We've accomplished more than I ever dreamed we would get done. We are much further down the road than I ever allowed myself to hope, but it's all because of volunteers, people who have given generously of their time, their talent, and their treasure.
Some days we forget to look around us. Some days we can't see the joy that surrounds us. So caught up inside ourselves, take when we should give. So for tonight we pray for what we know can be, and on this day we hope for what we still can't see. It's up to us to be the change, and even though we all can still do more, there's so much to be thankful for. Look beyond ourselves, there's so much sorrow. It's way too late to say I'll cry tomorrow. Each of us must find our truth. We're so long overdue. So for tonight what we know can be, and every day we hope for what we still can't see. It's up to us to be the change, and even though we all can still do more, there's so much to be thankful for. Even with our differences, there is a place we're all connected. Each of us can find each other's love. So for tonight we pray for what we know can be, and on this day we hope for what we still can't see. It's up to us to be the change, and even though this world needs so much more, there's so much to be thankful